Hello everyone! After finishing all the 2D transform functions, in this lesson, we'll learn about a new property called transform origin. Well, transform origin is the point that a transform takes as a reference when it works. In other words, the point around which the transform is applied. So, for example, here in my browser I have two images. I've added transform rotate by 30 degrees to both of them, so when I hover over them, they should rotate by the same degree. But the difference is, I've changed the transform origin of the second image to be at the top left corner, but didn't change anything for the first one. So it only has transform rotate. And now, when I hover over the first image, you can see nothing strange happens here. It just rotates 30 degrees clockwise like we saw before in the previous lesson. But now, I will hover over the second image. Aha! Something interesting is happening here. The image is rotating 30 degrees clockwise, but it's pivoting on its top left corner, which is the transform origin, while the first image is rotating from its center point, which tells us that the center point is the default value of transform origin. Now, let's talk about the values that transform origin accepts. It can accept keywords as one value, like top, bottom, right, and left. So let's try that. Back again to our code editor. And here, I have only one image. So when we hover over this image, we want to add transform and rotate it by 45 degrees, for example. And we will go up here and add transform origin top. And now, when we go to the browser and hover over the image, you can see it's rotating from the top center of the image now. Okay, next is a demo for the other keywords that transform origin accepts. So let's see how they work. First of all, we have top. We said that it'll rotate the div around the top center of the element, so exactly right here, like so. Then we have right, and in this case the div will rotate from the center of its right side, exactly right here, like this. Now, I want you to pause the video and guess how all the following divs are going to move. So, pause it now. All right, so bottom, of course, will make it pivot around the bottom center point right here, like this. Then we have left, which will rotate around this point, just like that. Then top right, which will rotate around the top right corner. Then bottom right. Then bottom left. And finally, top left. Now, transform origin can also accept values as percentages. We start from the top left corner of the element. So the first percentage value is X percentage, and when the X percentage is 100%, that means we start from the top left corner, then move 100% across the element width to the right, meaning we will end up in the right corner of the element. And then the Y percentage indicates how far we will move vertically relative to the height of the element. So if it's 100% as well, then we would move downward a distance equal to the height of the element. So our transform origin will end up in the bottom right corner of the element. Now, let's say we want to make the transform origin of the element at the center using the percentage method. So what we should do is put X as 50% and then Y as 50% as well. And it should be centered. Okay, let's try this method in action. I will go right here and add transform origin. Let's say 30% to the right, and then 80% to the bottom. And then, when we go to the browser, we will move 30% to the right, then 80% to the bottom. So the transform origin will be somewhere around here. Other values that transform origin accepts are pixels. So you can just say, I want it to move 50 pixels to the right and then 100 pixels towards the bottom. And this will be our transform origin point. So let's try that. I'll go right here and add 300 pixels. So that is half of the width. Next, add 150 pixels, which is half of the height, right here. So now the transform origin point should be at the center. Just like that. So that's it for this lesson, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.